afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, off here to 2-1 vs 1 on Lost Glider, which has also received an overhaul here. In particular, the center has been very much cleaned up. It's a much nicer cemetery in a lot of ways. Particularly, though, the whole glider bit is actually now gone, meaning the map is technically, of course, Lost Glider, but I mean, I suppose you could argue it's now truly lost. But then the question is, why is it called Lost Glider then? Because it's not there. A mystery for the ages. But the setting is 1944. Somewhere on the Western Front in France, the German army and the Americans clash. Sotjador here with the 3rd Armored Division versus Tiramisu. Oberkommand West forming up here. The 110th Panzer Brigade with fortifications, Luftwaffe and Spec Ops versus Sotjador's heavy cavalry, triple infantry as well for Tiramisu. Double Fultz Grenadiers as they march out valiantly for the fatherland, and Sotjador's rifleman bravely moves out for America. But while going up here, sandbags around the cutoff point to make it a bit harder to harass around there. Nice work by Sotjador, also winding off here, preventing any sort of direct movements here, and also making it more difficult to get away safely if they have to retreat. So, bit of a double purpose there from Sotjador. Quick check about it before possibly moving towards the centre there of the map. Also worth noting is the house has been further moved away from the cutoff point if possible, make it hard to just, pin down and be a nuisance. Since the map was very much, I would say, centred around these two cutoff points, you could very make an pin easy sort of pulled off and very difficult to break out of. That, of course, combined with some, which is absolute hell to navigate through, has sort of been, so to say, sorted out. Almost got the northern missions point here with the Fultz Grenadiers. Rifle got the southern one. 3rd Rifle on the way there for Sotjador, and more Fultz there for Tiramisu for Germany. M1 carbines hitting up as the Kar-90Ks here. The Kar-90K is definitely packing a lot more punch there with the smaller caliber carbines, which are sort of more meant for self-defense weapons for sort of certain units, not quite meant as frontline weapons, but they became somewhat popular there, though they apparently did have some minor flaws. Just being far back and forth, we got rifles as Fultz Grenadiers here. At the same time, they were in some ways apparently reasonably popular weapons. Anyways, even with the Germans, in some cases, would actually grab carbines to use themselves. So, go figure. We got more Fultz Grenadiers there for Tiramisu, going heavy on the infantry. Very, shall we say, standard Oberkommando strategy. Go for a lot of Fultz Grenadiers because they do benefit from being somewhat hard to kill, which tends to be very handy. Bit of skirmishing around here, Fultz versus Rifleman, at least initially, of course. Once the bars began flowing, the Fultz Grenadiers become a lot more squishy, but until then they sort of have a bit of benefit there. Mortars and weather for Sotjador to help bombard Tiramisu's positions to blast his way through them. I'm not entirely sure versus a heavy Fultz Grenadier strategy it's going to be immediately necessary. Of course, a well utilized mortar can still be quite effective in infantry combat, but I'd say early mortar would be more useful. Say the Tiramisu had machine guns, as the Oberkommand West, they tend not to have machine guns out right away, so, But there could be more harassment on the right-hand side, though so far it's mostly focused on the west, partly due to Tiramisu basically deciding this is where it's happening, because he's very consistently pushing for the fuel port, forcing Sotjador to react to it, since he's not keen on losing that. Back here, can actually begin taking up the game for the lieutenant. Of course, he might be planning the captain instead. Pack cards and stewards could, of course, be an issue for the Tiramisu, and if Sotjador is worried about Tiramisu going mechanized and Luxus, I mean, it's going to make a lot more sense to go that way. Though, of course, a lot of players do, with reasonably good success, go for Lieutenant, and of course, rely on bazookas and half-tracks to deal with the Luxus friends. In the south, moving in, there we go. Tiramisu strikes at the cutoff point. The Sturm Pioneers lead the way there, Sturmgewehrs in hand. Belief in Endsieg in their hearts. Fultz is popping in here, going to engage the rifle out in the open there. Kar-90K singing out. Fultz is moving in there as well. More troops arriving there. Sturm Pioneer, there's the rifleman. And we got more offering from the south. Mortar firing down there, making it a bit harder here for, of course, Tiramisu to stick around. Of course, this is kind of where the mortar can be helpful. But of course, if Tiramisu begins sticking in, the mortar can also be useful versus that. And we got takeout there for Sotjador. It is, in fact, the company command post, meaning the captain. I mean, he's definitely worried about a mechanized regular play there from Tiramisu and the Germans. Lastly, captain is very much sort of the more, so we say, direct counter with anti-tank guns, with the steward, and of course the pack howitzer is pretty solid artillery, to be honest. I do feel like it's very overlooked. Hitting the eastern fuel point there while Tiramisu is committing most of his into there, and a big tour de force there for the western fuel point, determined to or Sotjador there with the sheer mastery of Fuller's abilities is clearly enacting there. But it's skirmishing around the centre victory point there, but no reaction towards the eastern viewpoint. That's going to help out Sotjador nicely. Well, obviously, if you actually consider, say, something like Rangers, they can be pretty good, though. They do tend to get a bit overlooked as well, though. Honestly, a lot of infantry, besides the basic infantry, in a lot of cases tend to go overlooked, in particular with certain factions. Which I always find is a bit of a shame. Of course, they're getting blasted a bit to bits here. Mortar hammering away. Of course, they need to be careful. They are lined up nicely for them all to do some heavy damage. Fuel upon their secured, of course. And we do get the mechanized ready, of course, meaning Sotjador here made the most correct of calls. And he's also healing up, by the way, supervising there, rushing out the ambulance. Thumbs up there to Sotjador. Very big thumbs up there. A lot of players, again, tend not to be, shall we say, big on using the captain's abilities, but it's actually pretty handy. So nice play there by Sotjador, rushing an ambulance and rushing out a pack howitzer in less than a minute, really. I mean, that is a huge benefit in a lot of ways. And of course, while the ambulance won't have any immediate impact, in the sense the pack howitzer can. So nice work there by Sotjador. Very nice. Of course, that means he has a bunch of artillery here versus Tiramisu, who does not. Of course, right now there's a bit of downtime here. Most of Sotjador's forces need reinforcement, healing. Rolling off the tank trap here. Up north, healing reinforcement going there for Tiramisu and the 1 10th Panzer Brigade. Got a full squad there and watch them on the wrong side of the cover. The very wrongest. So there you go, mortar firing away. Pack howitzers sitting up here as well. Pack howitzers are actually part of the airborne units, but primarily mountain infantry divisions, since they needed light artillery that could be mostly carried up into the mountains. You know, since they didn't exactly have access to trucks and whatnot. So a bit of fire here against the Volksgrenadiers. Most armies will have, you know, something similar to the pack howitzer. There, for example, the Germans used the version of the light infantry Geschütz without gun shields as an example. Which was also believed used by their Fallschirmjäger. We got the Sturmpeter moving up, we got the MG34 on the way there for Tiramisu to help deal with all of Sotjador's infantry. So always a good choice, of course. Also a pretty good obvious target there for all of Sotjador's artillery. Captain here doing nice with the Sturmpioneers and Thompson and the Rifles here are doing heavy work in the Sturmpioneers. They are suffering some damage in the long run. But there you go, almost got to wipe the Volksgrenadiers flanking up, but that is causing Sotjador to retreat. I think that's a good call there. Fortunately, there's the Rifleman. God damn, do we have to take cover behind a dead cow? It could be worse, it could be a mom. Shut up, Carl. Here's the rest of the Volksgrenadier mortar firing down in the church, making no real impact there. And we got an entertainment for Sotjador, obviously anticipating some sort of light vehicle. There you go, poor Otto blown to bits alongside a tombstone. My God, those Americans, so sure no respect to the dead. I mean, Ludwig, nein, look at the tombstone. It's broken, the assholes. But we break them regularly, but it's different when the Americans do it. Stop with all of this bickering. Like here, the healing enforcement going, oh, yeah, Captain is sort of healing, but it also looks like he's going to supervise something out again. It's likely going to be the Stuart light tanks, and again, he can get that out really fast against Tiramisu, if that is what Sotjador is planning. He's also theoretically not too far from the Ranger squad. Well, bit of skirmishing here. Sotjador is now controlling most of the map. The mixed artillery battery he's managed to assemble there certainly provides him with a bit of a hands up here. Nope, he's actually planning to rush out the weapon racks, and again, that happens really fast. But I don't even think that's going to take 10 seconds. That's how fast the captain can supervise stuff out. So again, if you go for the captain, a really good piece of advice is just try to remember to use the supervisor ability, because it can really give you some big boosts when used correctly. Looks almost done there though for Tiramisu. Sotjador, I mean, of course, can react speedily and just rush out the Stuart if he wants to. I mean, he can just go, oh wait, I just need to get that in a few seconds, and he can actually have it. It does allow you to react much more flexibly to what happened, but of course also push strategies more aggressively. So it's actually a really powerful ability, which most American players just never use. Rather than these, be careful, got the info up in the northern part of the church. Mortar in a bit of a sticky spot. We got the captain liaisons moving up, and looks like good to go. We do actually get Rangers here for Sotjador, though the timing is a bit critically there dangerous, since of course he does nerf, but the looks is just hit, and the Rangers actually prevent him from getting anything to, you know, call it a Stuart with. Of course, he's got the captain with the double bazookas. which will help a bit. I imagine Sotjador would rather prefer having a light tank to stop this look, since the looks can't do much against the M5 he wants to do it. Alright, pack house there, a bit further back, obviously a bit worried about the current positioning. Mortar with 4 kills, Redson's 1, pushing for the fuel there. Tiramisu makes no attempt to disguise his intentions. Rangers getting the Thompson, very good. Pack house lands awfully close to hit there to the looks, but not quite. Brown pushing back the full scores. The captain, I believe, is actually back here to probably try and supervise something. I imagine there's going to be Sotjador rushing out the Stuart. There we go, and again, happening very fast. Probably roughly about 10 seconds actually to get a Stuart. Ooh, direct hit from the pack house there. Of course, once it gets access to the heat rounds, you can actually do some serious damage to tanks, but obviously just anything caught near this explosion. Looks down to half health. Push into the base, and that's going to be punished as we got. Sotjador suit striking at the looks. My god, it's a bigger lighter panzer! Why didn't we know of this? And there we go, looks down, nicely punished there by Sotjador. Tiramisu definitely got a bit overconfident, and Sotjador struck him down. Ravno bars up as well. Sotjador is making great use of that captain and his supervisability. That is, I'd say 4 things he's actually supervised so far with the captain, minimum, and that's, you know, really solid stuff there. Tech up there for Tiramisu, but considering the timing, it's going to be battle group headquarters, meaning Tiramisu is very well locking himself most likely into the special operations doctrine, meaning a command panther. Rangers holding forts for the Thompsons. Rafting does the force in the centre, Stuart ultimate support here, and of course now support Mark Reese is again less awful pathing in the centre of the map. Rangers charging forward, see the machine gun opening up. He doesn't even have the missions over the smoke screen, though of course he has a lot of infantry attack from numerous angles with. There we go. Full support pushed away, and that also leaves the MG-34's flank exposed. Tiramisu knows this and just hits retreat. Noting by he's actually brought up 2 machine guns. That's a really solid choice versus the Americans. And generally versus the Americans at some point, in particular if they are really aggressive with infantry, you want 2 machine guns minimum. So good decision making, I say there, by Tiramisu versus Sotjador. The Sotjador is obviously no slouch. Well, that's a pretty aggressive mortar up there. Nope, he is actually planning a scrap hunted quarters here. It just looked like with the timing he was actually going to go for a battle group headquarters, but Tiramisu clearly realises that the Spec Ops Command Panther plan might in fact leave him dreadfully exposed to a lot of nasty things, and so decides not to go for it. In particular as a aggressive and dashing player, Sotjador. So he needs to be careful because the Stuart could actually take out his scrap hunted quarters if he's not careful. That would be devastating to Tiramisu. On top of the artillery and everything else. But there you go, scrap hunted quarters going up. Sotjador so far does not know. I mean, he could at any moment just stumble in and just begin causing havoc. Troops standing about there. So it just sort of, I have a feeling that something's happening, but I can't put my finger on it. Like some sort of great opportunity to disrupt the German plan, but it must be behind there. They're hiding their necklace. And his pack out to those, the Sturmpuny inside the church knights hit there. Poor Ludwig is knocked out as a brick goes straight through his skull. And you feel the rifleman basically holding up behind a convenient position that set of sandbags. The technically should not be actually able to cover all of them, but somehow is. In the end, they set up falling back. They've got the forces flanking up there. MG forming up here. Stuart spot is actually trying to get out the point using the crew. Bit risky, but I think it could also work out. Tiramisu Ball is yet to choose doctrine versus Sotjador. Grenade off here. Rangers pushing forward, pushing away. The Volksman is up here. We got Rock defending the fuel point. Almost got the Sturm Pioneer squad there. And Tiramisu's almost got all of his Volksgundies upgraded with Sturmgewehrs. Back here, nothing further happening there for Sotjador. He might actually want to consider fuel caches. He's got a lot of manpower right now sort of floating about. So maybe an idea to turn some of that manpower sloshing into fuel for his tanks. And of course tech also could of course be used to sort of protect the car point, which would be a pretty good idea considering how Tiramisu has so far shown himself being a very grand harasser. But there you go. Schwer punted quarters up. It's going to take some time for them getting in panzers. They could go for some Obersoldaten first, though. With 5 infantry squads, that would put them into 6, and that would be a bit excessive. So I can understand why he isn't going for it at the moment. But Sotjador, I definitely feel like could benefit from a fuel cache. Maybe even 2 if he's feeling really bullish. Still moving out here. We got finding in the center. We got the captain. Then we got mortar fire raining down. Forces there. Somehow dodging it all. Of course, we still got the pack howitzer. If I can. Ah, there it is. Veterans 1 already. 3 kills. Very good. Very good. Probably wants to bombard that machine gun to take it out. Remember, in most cases, barrages are much more accurate than just them firing automatically, so a good use of barrage can really just deck a lot of kills fast in artillery, and of course get into the higher veterancy. Pack out there, it's just auto-firing. Oh, there we go, we got white phosphorus, nice work there. Also, very potent ability on the pack out, to be honest, and overall potent American ability, but also tends not to see a lot of usage. It's nice work there by Sotjador. Machine gun ping down the rifle in the west, or east in the west, and then the two in the Rangers are dealing with the force guns there, who once more cut off the fuel point, in fact rendered it entirely neutral. Sotjador is taking up himself as well by the looks of it, very good. But he is going to be behind Tiramisu, who will be able to get out of tank first, part because Sotjador kind of hasn't been, fighting, I think, sufficiently well for his fuel, and also hasn't gone for fuel cache, at least offset some of those issues. Of course, you can't really begin harassing Tiramisu's fuel anymore, since the Schwer planted quarters is carrying both the fuel and the carve point. So, of course, if he realises what it is, he can actually bring up a pair of anti-tank guns and destroy it. He could just go for a second pack out and probably just bombard it. Pack out in there, still 3 kills, but halfway to veteran 2. Victory points being seized. Sotjador's actually a bit behind Tiramisu here. That is not good. Except for Tiramisu, in which case it's really good for him. And Sotjador does in fact commit to a second pack howitzer. He is bringing up more artillery which to bash the Kraut skulls in with. Hey Carl, yeah, where did you get all these pack howitzers? We're tank division. Well, let's just say a mountain division might be lacking a few artillery pieces. If we're gonna lose the war, it's your fault, Carl, you know that. Yup. Folks moving up against the steward and the rifleman. And there you go, force retreat. They actually bunched up, so there's a chance the steward could actually do some nasty damage with a bit of bad luck there for Tiramisu, but they do manage to split up a bit more, avoiding such a delicious fate for Sotjador. Of course, terrible for Tiramisu. But almost still managing the wipe. They're really close. They're really close. Folks moving on fire here from the captain and the rifleman. In the west, we got the Bekenov creeping up. Fuel cache is going up here for Sotjador. Note he's not going for the car one though. I mean, can extend understand here because it's out of the way, and usually out of the way points also tend to be safer in some ways. But I do feel like protecting the car point would have been a great idea. Out of the way, the fuel cache is a good start. At least he's not building it right under Tiramisu's nose, which really would have been daft. But yeah, Tiramisu going up first with the tank. Oh, he cancelled the pack howitzer. That's probably the best idea actually, and he probably wants an anti-tank gun. Just in case, we're still flooding a lot of manpower. It's been another fuel cache. Could be an idea, but out of the way, the fuel cache is a nice idea. And there you go. Spotted the Schwer Punter's quarters finally. Though I imagine Sotjador had an idea it was there. I mean, usually some players will place the Schwer Punter course right where it's going to be very important and a bit of a bastard to deal with. There you go. Anti-tank on the leather of Sotjador. He's probably starting to realise he might get hit with a tank. And his steward is not going to be able to do the job on his own. Tiramisu meanwhile committing to more Raketenwerfers. Victory points seized by the Major. Pack out, he's using white phosphorus in the house. He anticipating it to be a German position. Lighting it up. Close veteran to act in the pack out, so they're a bit low on health. I would say be very well off just pulling it back for a bit of healing reinforcement there to avoid total annihilation of the crew, since the experience of course just makes it really good. And again, Veteran 2 and Veteran 3 are just nuts with, just really solid heat barrages. Major there, holding out against the Sturm Pioneers. The Stuart is sort of considering going there, but decides it's got places to be. Panzer IV strikes here for the German army. Unleashing heavily against poor Sotjador. His captain was doing great work alongside the anti-tank on here, and this could activate ugly there for Tiramisu. Oh, shot bounced. Lucky Tiramisu here, otherwise the captain would have had a really good chance of taking out the Panzer IV there with his bazookas. But in this case, the bounce just paid off a bit there for Tiramisu. You could of course popped the armor-piercing rounds to just increase his chances. Well, armor-piercing discarding sabot rounds. And there goes Sean away there for Sotjador. Going for his own medium tank. Still down there getting blasted by this. Unfortunately blasted by the stupid guy with Kevin filling up here. Back here, healing enforcement going there for Sotjador. He could of course consider upgrading the Major with a few extra weapons. Some bazookas tend to be sort of the usual choice there. I mean, he could theoretically throw bars on the Major, but that would be a bit of a major waste. Bazookas are probably the better choice there. Increasing his chances, of course, of just laying down some heavy firepower on the German tanks. And there you go, Panzer IV being repaired for Tiramisu, who is still yet to go for the doctrine. He seems a bit hesitant, or just has forgotten about it. Rangers have the 14 kills, veterancy 2. Ravmare opening up from the church and the advancing foot guns. They try to threaten the centre victory point. Sotjador slowly, very, very slowly catching up there with Tiramisu, but it is again very slowly. 14 kills and there go active man to get his pack out healed and replenished. Very good, very good. There you go, pushing for the point. We got the disintegrate off against the church. Nice push here. Captain, I think, could move up a bit more aggressive. We got the Sherman out here for Sotjador. 50 cal would be excellent. Fortunately pushed off. In fact, almost wiped out there. Once more, the Lady Luck seems to shine upon Tiramisu, or smile upon him. Fortunately, the in by the northwestern victory point here. The Germans are attacking, showing no mercy to the Americans. Panzer IV flanking against the rifle, doing some damage there. Getting in some excellent hits there. Gutting numerous of Sotjadors, and there you go, striking at the folks on the west, backed up with the suit and the rifle here. Could possibly see some heavy casualties for Tiramisu. Folks was not careful, and there you go, he just retreats. But Kenneth opening up in the Sherman, taking down to half health. He can quickly pull back behind the house. It is still a bit of a risky situation there for Sotjador. There's not a lot of infantry nearby, so theoretically the Kenneth can keep creeping up here. Pack cards are there, 9 kills, especially 2 back here. Healing reinforcement, each troops up here to control. Rangers are setting out there for Sotjador and for the 3rd Armoured Division. Mortifying them, taking out the Fultz Grenadiers. Pack cards opening up as well. Close one, but not quite, not quite. Stewart rolling in, needs to be careful. Then again, oh, spots. Oh, don't step up, Sotjador, step on it. Oh dear, that might just be too late here. Still, he forces the 2 chemists to rush away, so at least he didn't lose the Stewart here. That would have been pretty awkward for Sotjador. Rangers move against the foot guns here as Tiramisu is also striking in from the east towards the centre. Very nice move here. Though that's a lot of firepower on the foot gun. Is Sotjador or Tiramisu needs to be careful in the centre here. Panzer being pushed back by the bazooka fire. Almost got the foot gunners there. Almost, but not quite. Panzer IV slowly approaching, Mitchell's run up. Here we got healing reinforcement there for Tiramisu once more. Well, mostly reinforcement. He doesn't have any medical supplies up. Then he doesn't have battle group headquarters. Panzer IV pushed back. Still no doctrine for Tiramisu. He's still a bit hesitant. Then we got a machine gun creeping up here on the right flank from Tiramisu as well. Interesting move there. Interesting move. Armour being repaired. Sherman good to go. Sotjador, I think, could still go for maybe a second field cache, but instead he goes for another pack howitzer. He's really focusing just trying to bleed out the Tiramisu, of course, break through that way. Not a bad idea, though, of course. Should be kept in mind it has some limitations there. If Tiramisu strikes hard enough with the tanks, Tiramisu could go for another Panzer IV. High close rounds up here, meaning Sotjador clearly isn't worried about the armor. And there you go, lost a unit. That was the major who actually bit the dust. So not a major loss there for Sotjador, not a major loss. Reasons just beating the machine gun by firing through a wall. Range is halfway to the 3, and they're going to engage by the Panther. Got Rathnos, then you for the push pops right in front of the church entrance, taking heavy down from the both bars. And we've got the pack houses laying down some fire there, but there we go. Double pack houses of Sotjador. Third armor is bringing in the artillery. Sturmpani's taking minor losses here. We got the Panther moving up, straight to the Steward, and the tank gun is nearby, but yeah, he's going to lose that Steward because he's right in front of the Fult's going to do, so they're going to Panther fast. The Panther, by the way, you also note is blocking off the retreat path, ensuring this dude has no way in hell of getting out of there. So that was less ground there for Sotjador. An easy kill for Tiramisu for the German army. So that was a bit of a waste, and honestly, a good light tank there for Sotjador. I was about to say Tiramisu, but he's already lost his, and he lost his faster, to be honest. So dude's being pushed back, trying on the way there for Tiramisu. Entertaining them up to the soldier. We got the Panther moving in. Close eventually to the Sherman is a bit on its own with not entirely sure there's going to be sufficient armor anti-tank support there. Here we got the Fults pushing with the fuel, but again being pushed away once more, taking heavy casualties in the process. Tiramisu, still no doctrine though, still no doctrine. But looks like he's going to go for the King Tiger. Got the third track, that's going to be a battle group headquarters, no additional armor. So King Tiger certainly is looking very likely here for Tiramisu. And the 110th Panzer Brigade. And I think Sotjador is stalling here for the Pershing. Though, with a double pack house, it doesn't actually have quite enough there in terms of Panzer Brigade. But there you go. Sherman, right from there, taking out a full Fulton squad there. Bit of a blow there to Tiramisu. And actually, the first of the series wipe he suffered. Good work there by Sotjador and the American Army. Got the battle group headquarters there, slowly being set up here for Tiramisu. Still remains without a doctrine. Ten kills, 0. I mean, he could try and bombard the Schwerpunch cores of both pack houses and use the heat rounds and the veteran one. He could have a decent chance of taking it out. It would certainly make it harder for Tiramisu to defend his own field point, which of course would give Sotjador a lot more options. There you go, Rangers pushing into the centre, but quick suppressed by the machine gun. Sturm Pioneers are certainly not adding to the fun there. Pack houses are being repositioned, clearly indicating Sotjador starting to get a bit paranoid about them being rushed. And there you go, Panther forming up on the flank. Sherman there firing high explosive rounds is not going to do any good against the Panzer IV. And there you go, that's a big push. He's planning something, but the question is, what is Sotjador up to? And it might just get disrupted here by Tiramisu's flank assault there. Nice push there by Tiramisu. He's certainly shown himself to be a decent flanker. A fan of manoeuvre. And there we go. We finally got the doctrine there for Tiramisu. This is Luftwaffe Grand Force of the 110th Panzer Brigade. Summoned upon the might of the 3rd Fallschirmjäger Division to provide additional elite infantry Unterstützung and possibly a bit of support from the Luftwaffe. Pack houses there firing away. Folks, they need to be careful. In fact, they're close to getting wiped out here. And wiped they are. Will Tiramisu go for Obersoldaten? Fallschirmjägers? More folks going to, he's just not going to care and not replace them at all. He is not far off from the King Tiger though, then neither is Sotjador from the Persian. Though again, population wise, he is not there. He's got too much stuff. That's probably where the pack house might be the bigger issue for him, and actually locked him out from getting a Pershing as soon as he can. Could theoretically always get it. It's a bit of an unfortunate development there for Sotjador. Got smokescreen off here, but there you go. Panzer IV to the rescue here for Tiramisu. Eventually 2 gained, 11 kills for das Vaterland. Ooh, that pack house even got into a place where it wasn't supposed to. Panzer IV on the flank, got smoke screens off, but they're not seeing much. And there you go, smoking out the machine gun. That is working out much better there for Tiramisu. I mean, Sotjador for Tiramisu obviously is a bit awkward. Tiramisu though, not far from it all here from the King Tiger. Sotjador, again, almost resource-wise there, but population, there is still that problem, that headache. Sherman moving ahead, finally got the armor-piercing rounds ready, entertaining there, backing up as well theoretically, and of course got the pack house providing vital artillery support. Back here healing reinforcement for Sotjador. Tiramisu making a big push into the centre here. Lots of footballs like Kednut machine guns and the Panther 4. He's basically red here that Sotjador seems to be willing to die for it. He's going to try and destroy him for it though. He'd probably better off with a bit of a flank assault without the infantry and armour run just straight down the middle, but seems like this is what Tiramisu is willing to make work, and that kind of makes him an easy target here for all of Sotjador's artillery, which is obviously not what he should be, aiming for as a goal. Almost lost a full squad there. Sure needs to be careful. The Kednut's creeping onwards. Mortar and all that fine way. There we got Veteran 3 on it, by the way. And there we go. Got Kednut for down. A big loss there for Tiramisu. Pershing by the available here for Sotjador did suffer enough losses. And Tiramisu's called in the King Tiger, the Königstiger. Things just got serious. Armor pierce rounds all around and then to tank guns they can't increase the chance of easily penetrating the Panther 4. Gaining veterans 1 though, and orbital done for Tiramisu. No Fallschirmjägers, sadly. He went for the doctrine, but no Fallschirmjägers. Shame. Okay, Pershing out. Okay, I'm supervising that. Alright, we're gonna get some oh, come on. Why am I supervising this then? Come on. Our M26 Pershing out here for Sotjador. King Tiger here versus the Rangers. Not a lot of them actually saw service before the war ended, and after the war they actually began converting most of them to M48 patterns. And even that project stopped. Basically it seemed like the Pershing just wasn't that amazing. And he's got artillery firing down here on the King Tiger. Heat rounds from the pack house are going to do some damage. It's white phosphorus. Probably block up some other stuff. Victory points wise, Tiramisu Sotjador Sotjador. After the Pershing, Sotjador project probably more anti-tank weapons to help deal with that King Tiger. Jackson would be a really solid choice. And there you go, King Tiger hits into the Pershing, shot fired. Penetrating here on the Königstiger. Panther 4 flanking up, shoots, misses the Pershing. Pershing lands another pension hit on the King Tiger. The King Tiger's yet to land a single hit on the bastard. Javelin in hand, fails to penetrate. Panther moving up and right in front of the Pershing if he's not careful. And it's going to be push here from Sotjador, lots of infantry, but it's also again where most of the machine guns are pointed, so sadly he does not make any progress. He's losing the northern victory point as well. Dancing a bit of issue there for Sotjador. He's not good at funding for the victory point. Pershing up, he versus the Panther 4, landing some good hits in there. The Pro try and push for the eastern victory point as well, and here's Smokescreen would be great. He does have the mortars for it, so Smokescreen around here would do him quite a bit of good, but it seems like he's not quite on that. Packhouse is blasting away. He's not barraging a lot with them, to be honest, except for the occasional white phosphorus, but heat rounds are also just really good. I really cannot stress enough how good they are. They are really good. Obviously good versus tanks, but also infantry being caught nearby them will suffer, because they will do more damage, meaning even like the AoE is much more lethal on the heat rounds than the regular artillery rounds. So a little fanfare there. King Tiger I'm taking out the anti-tank gun. And if he's going to have a chance with the King Tiger, the pack cards, you need to use the heat rounds. Again, they can actually do some good damage. Less than 100 points left. Anti-tank down there. You go rushing here up and forwards. We've got Rangers and Rifle there. A storm of automatic fire there. Just shredding the folks going to do before they can react. Very nasty push there by Sotjador. 18 kills on the Rangers. He's pushing for the centre again, though. He probably should try and open up a corridor to the eastern victory point. Clear out that machine gun in the house here, which he's seemingly forgotten all about. Or has not forgotten, but decided it's not worth it. Veterans won the Pershing. Good work there by Sotjador. Close victory on the pack counter. Half victory on the other one. Anti-tank slowly creeping ahead. And there you go. Panther 4 strikes up north once more. Pershing responds immediately. And there you go, finally to clear out that machine gun opening up after the eastern victory point. Very good work there by Sotjador, though. Could have been better, could have been faster. There we go, got the centre one again. Keeping it out in the hands of Tiramisu and the German army. King Tiger almost good to go, and we got the orbital there with the LMG 34. Panther 4 striking up, looks like we got the setup there for a big assault here from Tiramisu. All or nothing, now or never. Endsieg. I suppose Sieg oder Tod. Pushing up here, we got the machine gun coming at a victory point. There we go, moving up with the Kevlar's machine guns. Artillery raining down the response, clearly swiftly punishing the support arms there from Tiramisu. Panzer IV was the Pershing. Left flank is actually quite open. Bit risky there for Sotjador. There we go, King coming up the centre straight fire here from the Sherman and the anti-tank gun. Bazooka teams should also probably try and get in there as the King Tiger. And definitely going to need the Pershing to have a better chance. Packard is firing again. Any of them firing heat rounds? They actually both have access to it now. And if he's not moving it, I mean, firing around here with the heat rounds could actually do some serious damage to the King Tiger. It seems like Sotjador either isn't aware or decides it's not worth trying. Oh, they're forcing away the King Tiger there, but losing the northern victory point again. More Packard to fire. There's like rushing for the centre one. And Yorb's on fire here from it. We got the Shem rushing up for the western point. He's secured again. 63 points left here for Sotjador. 62. Troops in reinforcing. Need to get moving fast. And we got the Panther moving ahead. The veteran, the Fleet Panther 4 by the way. Bit much nasty dancing partner here for the Sherman. Creeping up here on the centre victory point. Eastern point, just nothing happening there. Tiramisu is having a very easy time there, in fact. Ooh, close victory for on that pack howitzer. 56 points left for Sotjador. Got the Fulton there firing away with the Sturmgewehrs, and we got the Pershing sitting out there closing in Veteran 2. Troops moving towards the centre there in the east. Pushing ahead straight into the machine gun again. Smoke being popped, but a bit late to the party. Already the reactions are pinned down, screaming for aid. And there go King Tiger's going to flank the Pershing. Very nice push there. We got air supporting as well here to further make it difficult there for Sotjador's Pershing to make a stand in fact for him to defend and fight around the victory point as well. Good push here by Tiramisu. King Tiger going to jump in here again, taking advantage of the Pershing's proceeding to push with the cup on there, routing Sotjador off the entire western half of the map, ensuring he actually doesn't crew on any victory points there. Sotjador there, I think, finding an effective defence and getting completely rolled here by Tiramisu. I would say conducting a very good push here against Sotjador, exploiting the weaknesses in his defence. He finally broke through in the east by the way, but it's rather late that he's losing control of the rest of the map in the process. Pershing has hit Veteran 2, very good, but is it going to be enough here for Sotjador to turn the fight around for the 3rd Armoured Division, or will the 1 and 10th Panther Brigade remain victorious? We got smoke screens off here, but that's not going to help the victory points. He's rushing for the centre here. We got 28 points left here for him. A Kedman for crew wiped out here. This is only getting ugly there. We got the Panther 4 rushing in front of the Pershing. There you go, direct hit from the Panther 4. It's going to flank the Pershing with the Panther 4. He's got Blitzkrieg. Let's for them. Oh, Blitzkrieg just wore off. Still don't have a good chance. There we go. Main gun on the Pershing. Main gun out. Now the Panther 4 on the way there for Tiramisu's got the eastern victory point there in the hands of Sotjador and the 3rd Armoured. But none on the other side. He's down to 20. Packards are not going to help directly rushing them. Rangers moving out. Cat moving ahead here. Oh, moving off the point. Panther 4 moving in. Pershing need repairs. Problem is he's only got very few people that can actually do it, so it's going to probably be out of commission here if he's not careful too long. Panther 4 down to half health. Bazooka fire doing its part. Got the anti-tank gun being hauled forwards. 12 points left for Sotjador and the 3rd Armoured. Anti-tank there lands an excellent hit on the Panther 4, piercing the frontal armour like it was made out of cheese. Second shot misses the mark, and the Panther 4 escapes. A close shave for Tiramisu, very close shave. Panther 4 setting out. King Tiger there being repaired. We're seeing vital attention from all the pioneers here in the sector. Ooh, Sherman swinging in there. Might have a chance of getting a wipe against Tiramisu, which wouldn't be bad. But it's also the Panther 4 that are moving in. Pershing receiving repairs. Need to get everything else moving there. Sotjador. And he still has victory points, but he just can't defend them. He probably better off at some point actually have built some fanning positions to help make it a bit easier to defend some of these points, freeing up troops for more aggressive actions. And there's also the argument to be made he might have gone a bit to overkill them artillery versus the Oberkommando West. A mortar and double pack howitzers main factor been a bit much that he probably needed more moving elements. I mean, he kind of resulted in a situation didn't actually be able to build up a lot of armour versus the gems that way he pushed through with. Only a King Championship for the anti-tank gun, quite exposed. 3 points left. 2 points left. 1 point left. And there you go, GG, game over. A loss here for Sotjador, a victory for the German army. The 1 and 10th Panzer Brigade was victorious through might and belief in intrigue. Sotjador, for the same several cases, was close, but again, partly, I feel like he committed too much to the artillery. I mean, a pack-out and the mortar, fine, but 2 pack-outs in the mortar might have been pushing a bit much. Also, he might have benefited from grenades and fighting position to help out stuff. And I also think like he should have expended resources sooner, more efficiently, and a earlier fuel cache would have benefited Sotjador great. I mean, they always make great use of the captain's abilities, the survivors and all that. Also, I think flanking would have done more. In this regard, that's probably Tiramisu did well. He was good at flanking, he was good at maneuvering. He was also good at controlling the fuel points there, pressuring Sotjador a lot more and ensuring he could actually sort of get a hit there just bit by bit. And that was really well played by Tiramisu. Doctrine, I would say, was pretty weak. He just went for it for the air support, and that could, been done a lot better. But also an interesting match. It was some good play there from both sides. And again, Sotjador, I think, really making early on in the mid-game some good decisions, but late game it sort of fell a bit apart here in the face of Tiramisu. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is Pro LinkedIn. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.